Here's the big challenge of life. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. That's the challenge. And of course, the other side of the coin reads, unless you change how you are, you'll always have what you got. I have found in my experience that income does not far exceed personal development. Now, sometimes income takes a lucky jump, but sure enough, unless you grow out where it is, it'll usually come back where you are. Life has strange ways. If somebody hands you $1 million, best you become a millionaire quickly, so you get to keep the money. Otherwise, sure enough, it'll disappear. Somebody once said, if you took all the money in the world, divided it up equally among everybody, it would soon all be back in the same pockets. Incredible. Success is something you attract, not something you pursue. Success is looking for a good place to stay. So instead of going after it, you work on yourself. Personal development.
Oh, he done did it.
See, the major question to ask on the job is not what are you getting. The major question to ask on the job is, what are you becoming? See, the big question is not what am I getting paid here. The big question is, what am I becoming here? Because true happiness is not contained in what you get. Happiness is contained in what you become. So that's our major subject for tonight, personal development. Of all the assignments Mr. Schoaf gave me at age 25, this was probably the most difficult. In fact, I'm still working on this one. I think it's an unending challenge to see what you can become. The next subject is called Basic Laws.
Basic laws.
And it's good to study the basics. And I call these basics primarily because they come from the Bible. Now, I'm not a theologian or a minister, and that'll be apparent. But Mr. Schoaf taught me that the Bible was a good textbook for ideas and stories and success equations, how to live the better life. I found out that was true. He also taught me that the Bible is as practical as it is spiritual, and I found out that's true. If you look at your bank account and your income and you're not happy, there's several places in the Bible to check to see what the heck's wrong so you can make the changes. And we're going to cover some of those tonight, called basics. Okay. The next subject is my favorite, setting goals. Mr. Schoaf taught me how to set goals. What a favor that was. One morning at breakfast, shortly after I met him, he said, Jim, let me see your current list of goals, and let's go over them and talk about them. He said, maybe that's the best way I can help you get a better direction started. And I said, I don't have a list.
I don't have a list.
He said, well, is it out in the car or home somewhere?
I said,
no, sir. I don't have a list anywhere. He said, well, young man, that's where we got to start. He said, I can tell you right now, if you don't have a list of your goals with you, he said, I can guess your bank balance within a few $100s. Which he did. And that got my attention. I said, you mean my bank balance would change if I had a list of goals? He said, drastically. That day I became a willing student how to set goals. And sure enough, learning how to set goals changed my life. And I often wondered why no one had ever taught me how to set goals up until age 25. I went to high school, but if they offered it, I missed it. I went to college for a year, never heard it.
I worked
for Sears. Really? And to my knowledge, Sears never taught it. Right? How to set goals. So here I am, age 25, married, my family's starting, I've been to college, I'm working, and I still don't know how to set goals. But fortunately, when I was 25, I met the man who taught me how. And it revolutionized my whole life. Economically, socially, personally, it's incredible. So I want to share with you tonight what Mr. Schoaf shared with me, how to set goals. It can be a life changer. Okay. The next subject is the negative part of the seminar. Life is part negative, so we got to talk about the negative. And this subject is called diseases of attitude.
Wow.
Diseases of attitude.
Something.
There's a lot of things that can wreck your chances to do well. We live in a rather dangerous world, so you got to be not only wise, you got to be careful.
You don't see that?
Now, attitude diseases are just as bad as physical diseases, right? High blood pressure, heart trouble. I mean, a lot of things lace your chances to do well. So you've got to be careful. And attitude diseases are deadly. I mean, they'll destroy all the good things you start.
Oh, wait, I can't see.
Okay. So we'll go through those attitude diseases, how to spot them, how to look for them, what they are, and the cure. And I'm a pro on these because I've had them all, so I can give you excellent advice on this. Now, the last subject we're going to consider tonight is called the day that turns your life around. The day that turns your life around. And under this subject, we're going to talk about the emotions that can change your life. Human beings are emotional creatures. And emotions are powerful for life change. Now, of course, emotions are so powerful they can go either way on you. Emotions can either build or destroy. So you really have to employ emotions properly. We call civilization the intelligent management of human emotions. If you can intelligently apply your emotions in the right direction, no telling what can happen. Could turn your life around one day would be sufficient. So we'll talk about those. Okay. Now that's a lot to cover in one evening, but we'll keep at it here and see if we can't get it all done. I'd like to have you now jot down the theme of the seminar. Every seminar should have a theme, I guess. We've got one. It's on some of our literature if you happen to notice it, but if you didn't, for your notes, here it is. The theme of the seminar.
I know
goes
I'm
like
not
this.
supposed
The
to
major
still
key
be on this, but
2,
it's okay.
your better future. Is you. That's the theme of our seminar tonight. The major key to your better future is you. And I'd like to have you underline 2 words just to give it some added punch. Underline the word major and the word you, so that it reads, the major key to your better future is you. Now, my first suggestion is transfer this to a card or something where you can put it up, where you can see it every day. Preferably put it up where you can see it at the beginning of the day, before you go out to put the day together. This is a good phrase just to glance at, to keep in mind as you're putting the day together. It's called the silent seminar. If you'll just let this talk to you during the day, I found it to be tremendously helpful. The major key to your better future is you. For a big share of my life now, I didn't have this one quite figured out. Among a lot of things I didn't have quite figured out.
All that lined up.
Many things used to puzzle me back in those early days. I used to wonder why 2 people could work for the same company, one make twice as much money.
Ooh, look at that.
Now, see, that used to puzzle me. And maybe they were the same age, graduated from the same school, live in the same community, work for the same company, with the same products and the same services. They've got the same traffic, the same problems, and one makes $1,000 a month, the other one makes $2,000 a month. Now that was my puzzling question. Why would this long list be the same and the money twice as much? I asked, what's the difference between $1,000 a month and $2,000 a month? And I don't mean $1,000 a month, right? I could figure that out.
I could figure that out.
But what makes the difference? Why would one person do twice as well, three times as well? Speaking economically. Now, I know there's more than one way to do well. I understand that. But in this little narrow area called compensation, what's the difference?
What's the difference?
Well, back then, with my faulty thinking, I'm trying to reason it out. I thought, well, maybe time makes some of the difference, right? Some people do better because they have more time. I used to say, Harold ought to be able to do well. He's got a lot of time. If I had all of Harold's time, I could do well. Now, that's got to be dumb, right? Number one, you can't get somebody else's time. A guy says to me one time, he says, you know, if I had some extra time, I could make some extra money. I said, then forget it. There isn't any extra time. Hey, when the clock strikes 12 midnight, that about wraps it up, right? I mean, you can look around the gongs there for a little more, but it's over. You say to the guy, what are you doing? He says, I'm looking for extra time. See, they'll come and take you away,
They'll come and take your ass away.
There isn't any more time. Now, if you can't get more time, which you can't, what could you get more of that would make a difference in economic results? And here's the key word. Make it a part of your notes. We're going to consider it tonight. The word is value. And I have a little phrase for your notes. Value makes the difference in results.
We're doing it.
Value makes the difference. You can't get more time, but you can create more value. Now here's the first lesson of economics. Everybody should learn it from the time they're old enough to understand what a dollar means. How to earn one, how to get one, how to keep one, what to do with it. First lesson of economics. We primarily get paid for value. That's lesson one. Bringing value to the marketplace, that's how you get paid. You don't get paid for the time. I know it takes time to bring value to the marketplace, but you get paid for the value, not the time. Now, since that's true, here's one of the key questions of the evening. Is it possible to become twice as valuable at the marketplace and make twice as much money in the same time? Could you become 3 times as valuable? Make 3 times as much money in the same time? Is that possible? The answer is yes, if. And it's always if, right? Life is known as the big if. Harry Truman once said, life is iffy. How true. And here's the big if we're going to consider it tonight. It's possible to do much better at the marketplace if you go to work primarily on yourself. And that's the theme of our seminar tonight. Learning to work primarily on yourself.
My bad.
People have asked me for the last 24 years, how do you develop an above average income? And the answer is, become an above average person.
No highlights. I want to
develop an above average handshake. Some people want to be successful. They don't even work on their handshake. As easy as that would be to start on.
A design in the back.
They don't understand. Develop an above average smile. Develop an above average excitement. Develop an above average interest in other people.
We'll see how it looks.
Develop an above average intensity to win. See, that'll change everything.
I know that.
Probably one of the most frustrating experiences in life is looking for an above average job with above average pay without becoming an above average person. It's called frustration.
It's called frustration.
And Mr. Schoaf gave me probably the greatest clue he gave me when I first met him. He said, Jim, if you want to be wealthy and happy the rest of your life, just learn
You see, his name is Craig.
Well.
His name is Craig.
He said, learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job.
I'm going to sneak Craig into a couple of pieces for sure. I mean, I already have Craig in.
Then Mr. Schoaf gave me
3 other pieces, like the actual
one of the most important clues. Among so many things.
Somebody on TikTok named him. I was like, what should I name him? And they were like,
kind, but he was also very abrupt.
Spit out a bunch of names.
And he had these interesting questions
and then
to
somebody
ask.
was like, Craig.
I'm giving him a little rundown one day on how things hadn't worked out for me.
It's a good name.
He said, Mr. Rohn, I've got the answer for you if you will listen carefully.
It's a good name for a mouse.
And listen carefully, I did, that day and for the next 5 years. If somebody's wealthy and happy, you gotta listen. He said, Jim, I've only known you a short time. But he said, it's already my honest opinion that for things to change for you, you've got to change.
Damn it.
That wasn't quite the answer I was looking for.
Why is all my stuff not in the room?
But that's the answer he gave me, and I pass it along to you on this warm summer evening in Anaheim, California, 1981. For things to change for you, you've got to change. Otherwise, it isn't going to change. Before I met Mr. Schoaf, I used to say, I sure hope things will change. Right? That seemed to be my only hope. If it isn't going to change, I'm in serious trouble. And then I discovered it isn't going to change. So I'm in serious trouble. See, I can tell you what the 80s are going to be like. You have dropped into the right place. I did a seminar one time for Standard Oil executives and management in Honolulu. And we're having a conference one day on this big conference table. And one of them said to me, Mr. Rohn, you know some fairly important people halfway around the world. What do you think the 80s are going to be like? I said, gentlemen, I do know the right people. I can tell you. So they all listened very
I need
carefully.
to record this.
And I said, gentlemen, based on my
Wait, do I
wide
wanna
experience, I can really honestly say to you, in my opinion, in the 80s, it's going to be about like it's always been. Aren't you glad you came? That's inside. I don't pass that around just everywhere. Now, of course, I said that to make a point, but I also said it because it's accurate. It's going to be about like it's always been. It isn't going to change.
Uh-oh.
The tide comes in, and then what?
This might be too
It
dark.
goes out. For 6,500 years that we know of, recorded history, and probably long before that.
It might
So it is not going to
be dark
change.
enough. Hold up.
It gets light, and then what?
Wait.
It turns dark. 6,500 years. See, it's not likely to change. And we're not to be startled by that. And if the sun goes down, the guy says, what's happened, what's happened? It means he hasn't been here long, I guess, right? It always goes down about this time.
Oh, maybe we can.
The guy says, well, I don't like that arrangement. Well, you got to talk to somebody besides me, right? It gets light, then it turns dark. In rotation, the next season after fall is what? Winter. Pray tell, how often does winter follow fall? Every year regularly for the last 6,500 that we know of. See, it is not going to change. Now, some winters are long, and some are short, and some are hard, and some are easy, but they always come right after falls.
It isn't gonna change.
Sometimes you can figure it out, sometimes there's no way to figure it out. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it gets in a knot. Sometimes it sails along, sometimes it gets in reverse. See, that's not going to change. The last 6,000 years reads like this: opportunity mixed with difficulty. That's how it reads. It isn't going to change. The man says, well, if it isn't going to change, how will my life ever change? Answer, when you change.
When you change, boys. Hey, appreciate that, Rose.
And whether
Marcus,
I'm
I see
talking
you,
to
brother.
high school kids or business executives, my message is always the same. And it
Your
goes
art's
like this.
amazing. The wife and
only
I love
way
it. Appreciate
gets
it,
better for you is when you get
Hutzler,
better.
appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it, appreciate it. Look at that. Whole family. I got whole
Let
family
me give you
collectors.
the 4 major
actually.
lessons in life to learn. Here's 4
Actually.
majors.
Most
good
of
to
my
study the
collectors, I mean, a lot of my collectors.
In our
Are,
weekend seminar we teach. Some people don't do well because they major in minor things.
How do I say it? Gift.
You've got to be
gift
on the
my
lookout.
art,
At
too.
the end of every week, end of every month, you got to check, make
So,
sure you're
like,
not
during
spending
the
major time on
holidays,
minor
they're
things.
gifting my,
we go through that whole series.
Like
Majors
my
and
prints. I mean,
minors.
it's just, you know.
Now, let me
good
give you 2
conversation
phrases before we get to the
starters,
4 majors. This will set it up and you'll see
They're
where I'm
gifting
going.
them.
2 key phrases for your notes.
A lot
Here's
of
the first
my a lot of my collectors
Life and
come
business
back and like, yeah,
is
my
like
buddy
the
got
changing
this for me
seasons.
for my
That's
BA.
the first phrase. Life
In their
and
lifetime,
business
Jeremy works
is like
collectors,
the
boys.
changing seasons.
I mean, that's happening.
One of the best ways to describe life, it's
More than I
like the
can count.
seasons. Frank Sinatra sings, life is like the seasons.
I'm already liking the
Now here's the second phrase.
diamonds.
Very
I'm
important.
already a
You
fan.
cannot change the seasons.
I'm already.
but
I'm
you
probably
can
gonna change all my shit.
yourself.
My backgrounds are gonna be
You can't change
kind
the
of
seasons,
spicy. I can't see how
but
it
you
looks.
can change yourself.
Oh, it does.
And see, that's how life gets better for you, not by
Some comments
chance,
are filtered. What are you
but
filtering?
by change. Now here's the
My
4
wife
major
has an
lessons in life to learn.
appreciation for the amazing female form.
I've got my first book finished. Came out a couple
As
of weeks
much
ago.
as
This
me,
is in it.
that's
4
what's
major
up. That's
lessons in
why.
life to
That's
learn.
where
Here
it's
they
at.
are. Number 1,
That's funny.
learn how to handle the winters.
He said, "Wifey be in the
That's
mall."
lesson 1.
Look,
They come right
babe.
after fall.
Look,
With
babe.
regularity.
Look at that
Some
one.
are long and some are short and some are hard and some are easy, but they
Mine
keep
will
coming.
look at me to see if I
You must
see if
learn
I
to
saw
handle the
it.
nights. They come right after days.
That's
you
how
must learn to handle
mine is.
difficulty. It comes right after opportunity. You
I
must
guess
learn to
that's like
handle
most of 'em.
recessions. They always
Mine
follow
will look at me
progressions.
and see if
For
I,
the last
you know.
6,000,
Did he see that?
see, it isn't going to change. The lesson you must learn is how to handle it.
You feel me?
And there's all kinds of winters, right? The winter when you can't figure it out.
The
winter
where
when it all goes smash. The winter when it turns belly up. The winter when it won't work, when you've run out of money and you've got a broken heart. See, those are winter times. There's all kinds. Economic winters.
Economic.
Social winters. Personal winters.
I'm
When your
recording.
heart
I'm
is smashed in
live
1,000
on
pieces. And the nights are
my
unusually
Twitch,
long.
my
Your prayers seem to go no higher than your head. It's wintertime.
Twitter, or X,
Barbara
and
Streisand sings,
my YouTube channel.
it used to be so natural to talk about forever, but used to be's don't count anymore. They just lay on the floor till we sweep them away.
Oh, baby.
You don't sing me love songs. And you don't say you need me.
anymore.
And you don't bring me flowers anymore. A song of winter. But see, the disappointments come.
No, mine will watch
Those are
with me.
normal.
I get it.
That's part
I
of
get
life.
it.
But the question is, how do you handle it?
It's funny.
How do you handle the coming winters and the disappointments and the downtimes?
He said mine is on the
you can't
lookout.
get rid of January by tearing it off the calendar. But here's what you can do. You can get stronger, you can get wiser, and you can get better. The winters won't change, but you can. And that's how life changes for you. See, before I understood, when it was winter, I used to wish it was summer. I didn't understand. When it was hard, I used to wish it was easy. I didn't know. And then Mr. Schoaf gave me a part of his very unique philosophy when he said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. See, that triggered my whole life change. Don't wish for less
See, that's a problem.
problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge. Wish for more wisdom. That's the key. So that's lesson one. Learn how to handle the winters. Here's lesson two. Learn how to take advantage of the spring. That's the second one. Spring is called opportunity.
Opportunity.
And spring follows winter. What a great place for it. If you were going to put it somewhere, that'd be the place to put it.
That'd be the
right
place to
after
put it.
winter. And pray tell, how often does spring
There's
follow
a
winter?
reason I put a ring on it. Look at him.
Every year with
Look at it.
regularity, 6,000. You
There's
can
a
almost
reason.
count on it.
How old
See,
was
opportunity always comes.
Bro, we were 20,
Days follow nights. Isn't that
22 and
terrific?
21.
Opportunity follows difficulty. But here's what you must learn to do. Underline these
That's
two
not
words in
going
that key
anywhere,
phrase.
actually.
Take advantage. Underline those
We
two.
were 22 and 21. This
You
is
must learn to
20
take
years
advantage of
ago.
the spring. See, just because spring rolls around is no sign you're going to look good come fall. You got to do something with it. In fact,
that's
you have
because
to
I
get good
added
at one of two things in life.
water.
Planting in the spring or begging in the fall. Or get somebody to do it for you. See, those are about the only alternatives. Now here's what else you must do. Take advantage of the springs quickly, because there's only a few. Just a handful of springs have been handed to each of us. They don't come forever.
only have a
Life is
handful
fairly
of
brief.
springs, boys.
So you got to read every book you can get your hands on what to do with your
Use them
springs
wisely.
while they're here. And take advantage, they soon run out.
They soon run out.
The Beatles wrote, life is so short. And for John Lennon, it was extra short. But life is brief. Elton
Why
John
John Lennon
sings,
catching
she lived
strays?
her life like a candle in the wind. It's brief. So whatever you're going to do with your life, you got to get at it. Don't
You
just
got
let the
to
springs
get at
pass.
That's why
Here's
I
the
paint
third
for you
major
guys.
lesson in life to learn. Learn how to protect your crops all summer. You got to take care of what you start.
I'm just curious, seriously, what?
Sure enough, as soon as you've planted your
Seriously,
garden
what,
in the
brother?
spring, the busy bugs and the noxious weeds are out to take it. And here's the next bit of truth. They will take it unless you prevent it. And that's the third major skill to learn. You've got to learn to prevent the intruder from taking all the good you start. It's one of the challenges. Here's 2 key phrases under number 3. First one, all good will be attacked. On this planet. Maybe not the next one we get to, but on this one, all good will be attacked. Every garden will be invaded. Not to think so is naive.
Maybe they look
And here's the second phrase.
huge.
All values must be defended.
I need to tone them down.
Political values, social values, community values, family values, marriage values, friendship values, business values. Every garden must be tended all summer. Third major lesson. Now here's number 4.
Let's see.
Fourth major lesson in life to learn.
Nah.
Learn how to reap in the fall
busted
without
right
complaint. Learn to reap come harvest time
Because I've never done
without complaint.
a crazy wall background. We're trying to see what.
Take full responsibility for what happens to you.
There's other. Ooh, wait.
It's one of the highest
Can I throw
forms
a
of
line
human
in there?
maturity. Accepting full responsibility. It's the day you know you've passed from
Actually,
childhood
you
to
can.
adulthood. The day you accept full responsibility.
There's stuff I can do. We'll just do
And
all
another
this
note.
first.
Learn to reap in the fall without apology. Without apology if you do well. And without complaint if you don't. That's maturity. I used to have that long list of reasons why I wasn't doing well. To explain. You got to explain, right? Otherwise you're going to look bad.
What's up, doll?
I used to have this funny list called Reasons
What are you
for Not
curious
Looking
about?
Good.
Did it block one of your comments?
I used to blame the government. I mean, you can believe that or not.
Hello,
it was at the top of my
Master.
list.
Oh, I
had a
didn't even
lecture
see
second
you
to none.
guys,
The government. That was on my list. I used to blame taxes.
comments.
Look what you got left after they take everything. And they expect
Oh,
you to
what'd
do
you
it.
ask? Split it up.
That was on my list there. Prices, that one's easy, right? You walk into the supermarket with $20, come out with a little half bag.
Little half bag.
I had that on my list.
I had that on the list.
I used to blame the weather. I blamed the traffic. I used to blame my
That's
car.
12 minutes. Jesus Christ.
I blamed the manufacturers.
Can I stop that?
I used to blame the company. I blamed company policy. I used to blame the training program. I blame my negative relatives. They were always putting me down. I blame my cynical neighbors. They're just selfish, looking out for themselves. Won't loan you money? They were on my list. I used to blame the economy. I
This
blamed
is the
the community.
signature from 2012.
That's a pretty good list for not doing well, isn't it? I thought it was good. I'll
My
never forget one
canvases
day.
turned orange.
Mr.
How
Shelf
do
was
I
very
fix
kind,
it?
but he was also very
What do you
blunt.
mean? Are they
And this was
are
no
they
exception.
blank?
And I'm glad he was blunt. There's a lot of things I'd
I
have missed if he hadn't
repeated
been
it.
blunt.
I guess it blocked it.
One day with sort of a curious look on his face,
Oh,
he
all
said,
right.
Jim, just out of curiosity, tell me, how come you haven't done well up until now? Excellent question. I thought, well, so I won't look too bad, I'll go through my list. And this list I just gave you, I
laid
put
it
that
on.
on him. And he was very patient. He let me go through the whole thing, the government, the weather. I went through this whole thing. When I finished, he looked my list over very carefully. He said, Mr. Rohn, big
Yeah,
problem
it's
with your list.
it's blocking.
You ain't on it.
You ain't on it.
How brilliant. When I went to work for him a few months later, I learned very quickly to tear up my list, reasons for not doing well, and I threw it away. And I got me a fresh piece of paper. And I put one word on it.
Me.
Me. There's a Black Heritage spiritual that says it's not my mother nor my father, nor my brother nor my sister, but it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. See, I used to blame everything outside. And then let me give you a little philosophy that helped turn my life around. For your notes, here it is. It's not what happens that determines the quality or the quantity of your life. It's not what happens. And the reason is because what happens to about everybody. No different. The sun went down on all of us last night. A common event. A happening.
Common event.
And I found out that the same things can happen to two different people. One gets rich and one stays poor. Why is that? It's because it's not what happens, but rather it's what you do that changes everything. So that's a key phrase. It's not what happens, it's what you do. What happens is about the same. You might put that in parentheses here. Same. What people do, that's what's different. Anything can happen, right? Everything can happen. I've heard all the stories. I've been one of the stories.
I've been one of the stories.
Hey, we could all tell stories all night long, right? Happenings. Anything can happen. Have you heard of Murphy's Laws? Anybody here heard of Murphy's Laws? Okay, most of you have. Murph had these laws.
Come.
Was, if anything can go wrong, it will. That's one of Murphy's laws. He was not one of the great positive speakers of the day. But anyway, it's still true though, right? Anything can go wrong, everything can go wrong. For sure. I've fallen out of the sky so many times.
Rogue is on the list, boys. Rogue
Once
definitely. Rogue Gambit.
million.
That's in my
Took me a while to
superhero
survive that one.
superhero.
Now, it wasn't all that much, but it was all I had.
Series.
I mean, that's when it's much, right? When it's all
with
you
like
got.
Superman,
If you
Lois,
got 3, 2 go, you got 1 left. You ain't
Rogue,
looking that bad.
Gambit.
But when it all goes, has anybody been there when it all went? Anybody?
I've already did Black
Come
Panther,
on, the rest of you
Storm.
liars. Go ahead.
What
Hey,
else?
We've
Couple
all been there, right?
should
when
I
it
do?
all went.
Besides
Of course,
Scarlet
it used to be a long
Witch
time ago,
and
right? When you ran out of money, got to
My
0,
guy.
you were all through. Heck,
They're
now
on
you
the
can
list,
whistle
too.
right on by 0, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they will bury you. That's what they will do. But see, those are the happenings, right? Everything can happen. Anything can happen. But it's not the happenings. It's what you do about it. Somebody says, yeah, but you don't understand the disappointments I've had.
oh, come on.
Come on. Everybody's had their share. Disappointments are not special gifts reserved for the poor. Everybody has them. The difference is what you do about it. It's not the weather. I used to blame the weather, and I discovered it rains on the rich. So see, that won't help. 2 men wake up one morning, there's a rainstorm on. One of them looks out his window, sees the rainstorm, and he says, wow, what a storm. With weather like this, they can't expect you to go out and make sales. He stays home. Same morning,
No dice.
the other guy looks out his window, sees the same storm.
No
says,
dice, I
wow,
see
what a
you, brother.
storm. But he says, you know what, with weather
Yeah,
like
Rogue
this,
and Gambit.
what a great day to go out and make sales.
Rogue Gambit
Most
on the
everybody
list,
will probably
boys.
be home. Especially the salesman.
Especially the same.
See, that's the difference in how your life works out. It's not what happens, it's what you do. So here's one of the key questions of the evening. Starting tomorrow, what are you going to do that'll make a change in your life's direction? Good question. What are you going to do starting tomorrow that'll make a difference?
Young, no dice.
Now see, if you don't do something starting tomorrow that'll make a difference, guess what? It's gonna be the
We
same.
here. We out here.
And see, that way you can guess what the next 5 years are going to be like. Look at the last
Look at the
5.
last font.
Because the next 5 are going to be like the last 5 unless you, major key, tomorrow, change it all. Or change a little, or change something, or don't change. It's choice time. You can do whatever you want. But it's nice to know any day you wish you can change your whole life.
Sure was nice. Sure
What
was a
can
good-
you do starting
day.
tomorrow that'll make a
I said,
difference?
what?
Good question.
Can change?
What can you do with economic chaos, massive disappointment? What can you do with a broken heart? What can you do when it won't work? Good question.
Good question.
So if I had a word
Tipsy
with you
Tuesday.
tonight, one-on-one,
It's
Just you and me.
tipsy.
I think
Tipsy
my personal
pinups.
advice to you would be,
Tipsy. That's what I'm
this
working
year,
on
1981, reach down
after this background.
inside of you.
Y'all
And
like
come
how
up
I
with
took
some
like
more
a
of those
week off?
remarkable human
Blood
gifts.
dipped.
They're there.
They said,
waiting
"Oh,
to be
he
utilized.
dipped."
And then change anything for you want to change. And I challenge you to do that because you can change. If you don't like how it is for you, change it. If it doesn't suit you, change it. If it doesn't please you, change it. If it isn't enough, change it. And I challenge you to do that because you can change. See, you don't ever have to be the same again after tonight, only by choice.
By choice. By choice.
If you don't
Y'all
like
don't
the
even
vision
know where
address,
that. Y'all don't
change
know
it.
where that's
You're
from.
not a
But
tree.
Tony Baker. That's Tony Baker as a baby voice, bro. Comedy. By choice.
Now, let me give you 3 steps to personal
Oh,
development.
shit.
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Fucking up.
What does it take to
Fucking
really
up.
make the changes starting tomorrow?
We fucked up.
It takes more than philosophical pronouncement. I know that.
By choice. This
It
is
also
a
takes more than
mess up.
enthusiasm. I know we're hearing a lot about enthusiasm these days, but see, that just won't do the job. We're still hearing the old cliches of the 30s,
By
right? To be
choice.
enthusiastic, you must act enthusiastic.
I can't even make it
See,
to
that's not gonna
TwitchCon
help.
San Diego
After you have leaped about,
because
there are
I
some
didn't
things
get
you
in.
got to do,
I didn't get in
or it isn't going to change.
TwitchCon San Diego. I can hit them up and be like,
See, you can get all excited about lifting.
nah,
200
I don't want to
pounds till
stop
you get
other
to the
people
gym.
from getting in.
And then you need a new excitement.
You gotta
And
make
the new
sure my
excitement
shit's
is
right.
called
Bro, this
discipline.
background already
Major
crazy.
step to human progress.
This background
Discipline.
already crazy. What's
If
up,
there's one thing to
Jers?
get excited over, that's it.
Your
Get
work is
excited
phenomenal.
over your
Appreciate it, brother.
ability to make yourself do the necessary
Young Jers.
things.
Jersey.
What could you make yourself do starting tomorrow that would change
What
it
up,
all?
good people?
No.
What up, good?
Tell.
Man, this background already crazy.
Now, see, that's exciting. On any given day, you can massively change the direction of your life. Murder is a clear example that any one person on any given day can forever alter the course of their life. It just happens to be a negative act.
They laugh at anything
But
this
just
fool
as
say,
sure as
bro.
you can commit a negative act, you can also commit a positive act.
They
and
laugh at
forever
anything Jimmy
alter
Rohn
your life.
says, bro. Brother
Whenever
Rohn.
you wish. Now that's exciting. And whatever that act might be that changes your life. The guy finally takes a shotgun to his car
He just like me for
and
real.
blows out every window, destroys every
That's
tire,
what I wanted
puts
to
100
do.
rounds in this shabby old thing. And he says, I have driven this embarrassing thing for the last time. And not only will I never drive it again, nobody else will ever drive it again. And he lets that shuddering thing stand there for a while as a monument to the day he said, today my life changes. Now who can do that? Anybody. When can you do it? Whatever day you pick.
Tell them you know no dice in T-Town. That's crazy. And that's a guaranteed entry.
Now here's the key to discipline.
Those
Start
spider
with the
girls
little
are crazy.
disciplines. Get
Fire though.
excited over the
Appreciate it,
little
brother.
disciplines, and
Roadie
get right
wear,
on those,
Roadie
because those will
war.
lead to the big ones. You can't handle the big challenges in life.
Oh,
unless you take
appreciate
on the
those
little ones.
roses.
Make
Look
a list
at
of all the
Jersey.
things you can do. Get right on
Okay.
those. Discipline yourself for those, both for the results and for the
Okay.
muscle and for the practice. So that when life hands you some big challenges, you'll be ready. You'll have the muscle. But see, if you don't have
Oh,
those
should
small
I have
ones,
pinned that? Pin the
you can't take
spider
care of the
girls?
big ones. Okay, here's what else it takes for life change. Self-motivation. Key phrase, self-motivation. I don't know why we call it self-motivation.
Self-motivation is a big deal, guys.
Because I found out you can't change people. They can change themselves, but you can't change them. Lord knows some
Self-motivation
I've
is a
tried.
huge deal.
But see, it won't work. People have to
That's
change
how-
themselves.
All these
I learned some of those lessons early.
YouTubers,
I built a little sales
content
organization way back in
creators,
those early days. I'm 25.
that's like
And I had
99%
some nice
self-motivation.
I said, I'm going to make these people
You
successful
have
if it
to.
kills me. I almost died.
That shit
I
crazy.
mean,
Editing?
You can't do that.
Oh my god. Editing?
See, I've discovered this. Good people are not trained, they're found. You find good people. You don't make them good, you find them good. Training really is for the purpose of finding good people. You don't need much instruction for a good person. Too much training probably means you got the wrong people.
That's actually supposed to be funny. Too much training.
So you got to find the right people. That's the key to getting a good job done. One of the major things we learn in management.
What order,
don't send your ducks
Jers,
to
what
Eagle
was your
School.
order? Damn, I didn't even see it. What's your order?
Because it won't help. I mean, I'm telling you, it won't help, no matter how good your school is.
Because I know
And
I
a little
printed
eagle
it.
badge and a little eagle hat. I'm telling you, it won't help. It won't
He
help.
said, ship my order, bro.
You can tell whether
I'll
your
ship
school's
it
done any
tomorrow.
good,
What's
right,
your order?
is when it's over.
No,
Right?
no,
The
not the
first
order
person
number.
and
Just
makes you friends.
which
You
one
say,
did you
no,
get?
no.
Yeah. What'd you get?
So it takes self-motivation to really alter your life. And you don't want to give self-motivation away to somebody else and make it somebody else motivating you. The guy says, boy, if somebody just come by and turn me on. What if they don't show up, right? See, you got to have a better plan for your life. Okay. Now, if you're excited and you're ready to change, let me give you 3 steps to start life change that can change your life, your personality, your lifestyle, everything can change. Here's the steps. Number 1, find out how things work. The first key to doing better is find out. To change your life,
Oh, I
you
already
need
shipped it.
ideas.
Wait.
There isn't anything an idea can't change. And Schof taught me the major
2
problem is lack
keychains
of an
and 5
idea.
stickers.
Not a problem.
I probably shipped that a long time
At
ago.
first I didn't
Where'd
have
you
any money.
order
I
it?
said to Mr. Schof, I don't have any money. He said, that's not a problem. Now, see, up until then, I always thought,
Always looking good. What's up, Jamal?
I was confused.
What's up, brother?
He said, no, the problem is lack of an idea on how to create money and wealth.
Where'd
It isn't
you
lack of
order
money,
it?
it's lack of ideas. So if you get the ideas, see, you can
Young
change
Jersey.
anything. Now, to get ideas, you need a constant study of finding out.
Constant study.
Now, Schof also said, when you find out something that works, put the information in your
Be
journal.
no dice.
Don't use your head for a filing cabinet.
Damn.
Put it in your journal so that you can do the next best thing. Repetition,
The
repetition,
journal is
repetition.
very important.
Go over it.
Also.
And if you repeat it, go over it, sure enough, someday,
Literally.
some mysterious day, the idea takes
I
root,
forgot.
starts to grow, and shows up in your bank account,
Very
and your
crazy
dress,
stuff.
and your personality, and your lifestyle. But capture the ideas in your journal. Find out how things work. Schof gave me this word for my life change. He said, study.
Study. That's
Great
why I always
word.
say study.
If you wish to be
Study like that.
successful, study
'Cause it's
success.
Jimmy Rohn.
If you wish to be happy, study happiness. If you wish to be wealthy, study wealth. Don't leave it to chance. Make it a study.
Make it a study.
Some people just go through the day with their fingers crossed.
Damn.
See, that won't do it. You've got to study the things that can change your economic, social, spiritual, personal life.
Oh, it says just ready to ship. Jeremy,
Now,
you
here's
will
the
have a
qualifying
great
phrase.
stream.
And we'll
Jay
have several of
Stacks,
these
I
qualifying
appreciate
phrases
you,
throughout the
brother.
seminar.
Stopping
first
in.
one.
Jay Stacks
You may
stops
not be
in
able
every
to do
stream,
all you
guys,
find out.
and tells me
I
I'm gonna
understand
have a
that.
great stream.
You may
I
not be able
appreciate
to
it.
do all you find out, but you
We
should
need
find
that.
out all you can do.
Wait, who's that? Aura, what up, brother?
See, you don't want to wind up at the
What
end
up,
of your
brother?
life and discover that you've lived only 1/10 of it.
What up?
And the other 9/10 went down the
Wait, can y'all see my
drain.
back?
Not
Oh,
for
wait,
lack of
y'all can see the
opportunity,
background.
For lack of information. So that's number 1, find out how things work. Now here's the best human virtue
I
for
see you,
finding
Jay
out.
Stacks. Appreciate
Curiosity.
it, brother.
Make a note of that. Curiosity. Be curious.
Be curious.
You might add a word to it that'll help. Childish curiosity. What will kids do if they want to know something bad enough? Bug you. That's the phrase.
I'm gonna put
They
on
can
Les
ask
Brown
1,000
after
questions.
this.
You think they're through? They got another 1,000.
I'm actually,
They'll
yeah, I'm gonna
drive
put
you to
on
the
Les Brown,
brink.
and then I'm gonna turn.
It's a
I'm gonna
virtue.
swap to my kick.
when you gotta know. Be like a child. In fact, Jesus, the master teacher, said, unless you can become like little children, you might as well forget it. You don't have a prayer. Excellent advice. You got to be like children. 4 ways, in my opinion, to be like a child. Number 1 is curiosity. Number 2 is excitement. Get excited like a child over your ability to make yourself do anything for change. 3rd is faith.
That's very hard to do,
but like a child. Adults are too skeptical.
Yep.
And 4th is trust. Trust is a childish virtue, but the rewards are incredible. So be like a child. Now, if you're curious, let me give you 3 ways to find out how to change anything.
Oh, you like that one?
Any life direction, any dimension. Here's 3
that's my
ways to
NBA
find out
Jam
how to
piece.
change anything.
Dream said, oh, he
Number
put
1 is to read.
he put some melanin back
Become a
there.
good
Got the
reader.
damn thing scrolling over her face, though.
All of the successful people I know and work with around the world, they're all good readers. Curiosity drives them to read. They got to know.
That's
They
my
just
NBA
read,
Jam
read,
piece.
Read.
Yes, sir.
Become a good reader.
Become
Now,
a
that's my
good
opinion.
reader.
Listen to the other lecturers and listen to me and make up
I'm
your
going to do a
own mind.
melanin
Don't be a
pinup
follower.
here in a minute. But
Be a student.
before that, it'll
Okay?
probably
I
be
say, really, for life-changing, you
a
gotta read.
melanin, like,
One way to learn is
2
from your own experiences. But another way to learn is
with
from
a, I got to
other
think of an
people's
animal I want to put with
experiences.
them.
See, one book might save you 5
Because I just did
years.
Storm with
If
the
you
panther.
read.
I don't want to paint no damn
Did you know there's
lion.
books on how to be stronger, more decisive? Be a speaker. Be a leader.
I
Have a
gotta
better
think of an
effect on other
animal I
people.
wanna put
Develop
with
your
it.
personality. Did you know there's books on that?
And people don't read them.
How would you explain that? And they can read. Did you know that hundreds of successful people have written their stories in books and they wrote down how they did it and people don't read it? How would you explain
Appreciate it, J Stacks. Appreciate it.
that? The guy's busy, I guess. You know, you get tied up. The guy says, well, yeah, you work where I work. By the time you struggle home, it's late. You got to eat a bite of supper, watch a little TV, get to bed. You can't sit up half the night reading. And the guy's behind on his car payment. Good worker. Hard worker. Sincere. But you got to be better than sincere and work hard. Otherwise, at the end of your life, you'll wind up cold, stony broke. You got to be better than a good worker. You got to be a good reader. The whole world is governed by laws. The universe, in fact. Laws. We call it the law of electricity. We call it the law of gravity. There's mathematical laws. There's physical laws, speed and velocity laws, agricultural laws. There's all kinds of laws. Now that we find ourselves on the spinning planet, you just have to learn what I call the setup. Learn the setup. Life's setup. Now, we didn't set it up, but we're here, so you got to learn it. And we should learn the setup for 2 basic reasons. Number 1,
more animals
keep
for
from
my
getting hurt.
tamed series,
it's one of the
boys.
major reasons for learning, so you won't get hurt.
I don't want to paint another
See,
panther.
economically, socially, personally, you can get hurt just not knowing.
Shit, tamed.
Ignorance is not bliss.
I'm not gonna paint a fucking.
Ignorance is poverty. Ignorance
Imagine
is
a
tragedy.
dragon
You
for
gotta
the
know,
House of Dragons.
or you're gonna get hurt.
Another damn dragon.
It's good to know not to walk out the 10th-story window. That's excellent information.
That's excellent.
Now, what if a guy didn't know and he walks out? Now he's dead at the bottom. Somebody says, well, the poor guy didn't know. You gotta know, or you're gonna get hurt. Okay. Now, here's a parenthesis. You don't have to like the setup. I don't ask you to like how it is.
House of Dragon?
That's not what's important. But it is important.
Something, or just a
Learn
House of
how.
Dragon theme?
Okay, so
possible.
you don't have to like it.
It's
But you
possible.
should learn it. That's what I tell the kids.
What kind of
right?
animals
Make
they
sure
got?
you
They
get
ain't got no
information.
damn animals in house. They got dragons, bro.
What you think about it, that's up to you. What you're going to
Literally
do with it, that'll
dragons.
soon be up to you. But make sure you get it. See, there's nothing worse than being stupid.
And all them damn dragons getting wrecked, bro. You got the big mama bear dragon,
but being stupid is
fucking
awful.
doing dirt.
And what's really bad is being
Bro drawing me
stupid,
for real. Look at
right?
Ricardo.
That's about the end of the world. I mean, there isn't anything much worse than that. Unless you're sick. Sick, broken, stupid. I mean, that is it, right? There's nowhere else to go. So make sure you get the information. It's key. You don't have to like it.
Oh, is this still?
Learn
Oh
it.
my God, 20 minutes.
If this big monstrous thing lifts up in the sky, hangs there for a little while, cuts loose, comes crashing down, boom, shakes the ground for 5 miles.
Yeah, I watched I watched it last night.
Lifts back up in the sky,
Bruh.
hangs there for a little while, cuts loose again, comes crashing down,
Bruh.
boom, shakes the ground for 5 miles. It just keeps doing it, this big monstrous thing. Lifting
Is there
up,
gonna be any
and then
dragons
crashing down.
left? bro?
Boom.
What are we talking
Now,
about here?
you might come along one day and say, that's
The
got to be a
dragons
stupid
are
arrangement,
actually wrecked.
which is okay. You're entitled to your opinion. But the first thing you should learn to do is get out from under it, right? That's number one. You might have a great moral argument. You might want to shake your finger at the sky, but do it from over there.
See,
right?
the,
So you don't
the
get
TV
smacked.
series,
It's called your basic
they killing off
smart.
dragons like it ain't nothing.
So
But
number one, learn.
they're
so you
saying in
won't
the
get
book
hurt,
like
whether you
these
like it or
dragons
not.
are
Learn.
still alive and shit.
Now here's the second reason for learning.
But
the
on the
setup.
TV
To
thing, they
benefit.
murking them. That's
It's
too
called
much.
the plus of life.
They doing too much.
And that's what life is, right? Both minus and plus. The minus is tragedy, heartache, misery, failure, unhappiness. But life is also happiness, prosperity.
They're
good
doing
feelings.
too much.
So here's the key.
They get
Learn
wrecked
to
for
get
real.
on the good
You see
side
when
of
they
the way
they
things
pulling up
work.
and they scratching his guts. The dragons. Dragon on dragon is a crime,
Now here's
bruh.
two of the basic laws,
Pull-
and we'll take our
bruh.
break. Shof taught me these.
Slapping their guts, bruh.
They come from the Bible.
Their
Now
stomach.
again, I'm an
bruh.
amateur, okay, when it comes
Imagine.
to the Bible. I'm not a pro. So you'll sort of have to take my way of putting it. But here they are. The first
Bro
one
was
is the law of use. The law of use. And it goes something like this. Whatever you don't use, you lose. Lack of use causes loss. On this planet, maybe not the next one, but on this one,
Is that spoiler alert?
if you tie your arm to your body, leave it there
Ricky
long
Ricardo.
enough, you'll never use it again.
Spoiler alert.
It's over
It's over.
for the arm. Now, it may not be over, but it's over for the arm. The only way to keep the use of this arm is what? Keep using it. If you quit, you lose automatically.
Automatically.
They don't bring it up for a vote. You lose automatically when you quit. Now, the same thing that goes for your arm goes for your brain, mentality.
It
the
goes
same
for
thing
your
goes for all the
talents.
human virtues.
When you
Ambition,
don't use it,
unused,
you lose it.
declines.
it goes. It's with your
Strong
talents
feelings,
too, guys.
unused, diminish.
Unused talents, unused
It doesn't
skill
grow. It diminishes.
goes away.
Faith, unused, decreases. It's a law.
It's a law.
Vitality, unused,
What the-
diminishes. Energy, unused,
Is
decreases.
that a mess up?
The guy says, well, I'm going to save up my energy. You can't do that. That's like trying to save today, put it on the end of the year. See, you can't do that. They'll come take you away.
They'll come take you away.
If you don't use today, what? It's lost. The guy says, well, I'll work twice as hard tomorrow to make up for it. See, that's foolish. You could have done that anyway. Today unused is lost. A talent unused is lost.
Their
An
blood is
ability
boiling.
unused is lost.
Nah,
So
their
here's one
blood
of the
is
key
like,
expressions of
well,
believing.
yeah.
Take a new inventory
They on
of
some
yourself.
blood lava type beat. I don't know.
Starting
What was
tomorrow,
that,
new
like,
project.
blood
Take a new
oil?
inventory.
Blood burning oil.
And make
Bruh.
sure that all of your talent and ability
Bruh.
and mentality and ingenuity and
Blood
vitality
oil?
and strong feelings, faith, courage, make sure that all you've got's being used. Otherwise, you
Literally
lose.
blood oil. This looks
Now,
like
one of the
it's-
best illustrations of the law of use is a Bible story
Yes.
called The Parable of the Talents. The talent story. Interesting story.
Oh,
if you
this is
haven't
the
read it in a
story
while.
that I was just
review
talking
it.
about.
It's a good story. An ancient story. It says there was a master with 3 servants. He got them together one day, and he said to the 3, I've got these talents. And in those ancient days, a talent was a measure of gold. And he said to the 3 servants, take these talents and see what you can do with them while I'm gone. He said, I'm taking a journey and I'll be gone for a while. When I come back, we'll get together, go over the book, see how you did. He said, here's 5 of these talents for you. 5. Here's 2 of them for you. 2. And here's 1 for you. 1. The master said, take those talents, see what you can do with them. When I come back, we'll get together, we'll go over it all. The servant said, okay, master takes off.
How is my battery?
The master
It's
comes back from his
unplugged.
trip. When he gets back, he gets the 3 servants together, and
What's
as he
up,
said he would, he
TikTokers?
asks, how did it go with those talents? You were 5.
Oh,
What
tar.
happened?
It did look like tar.
That servant said, well, I took the 5 talents you gave
It did
me,
look like tar.
and I put them to work. A little shaky at first, but he said things finally got rolling. And he said, I poured it on. And he said, my talents grew to 7, 8, 9, 10. He said, I doubled my talents from 5 to 10. Books will show. Master said. One heck of a job. Or something like that.
Or something like that.
He said, I gave you 2 talents. What happened? That servant said about the same thing happened to me. I put those 2 talents to work, poured it on. They grew to 3 and then to 4. He said, I doubled my talents from 2 to 4. Books will show. Master said. Well done. He said, I gave you 1 talent. What happened? That servant said, well, I took the talents you gave me, and I carefully wrapped it, and I dug a hole and buried it.
And I buried it. What are you talking about?
And camouflaged it, I suppose, right? So nobody would steal it. And he said, fortunately, nobody got it. And he said, I knew you were going to be here today, so I dug it up. Here it is, safely wrapped. I did not lose it while you were gone.
While you were gone.
According to the ancient story, the master said,
Give me your talent.
take that talent
Pussy.
away from
my
him
bad.
and give it to the man that's got 10. Now you might say, well, I don't like that arrangement.
I don't like that arrangement.
The poor guy's only got 1 talent. He's already got 10. It ought to be more even. Remember, I didn't ask you to like it. But this one I would ask you to learn, because it simply means whatever you do not employ, you forfeit. It's a law. So learn well the law of use. Now here's the second one, and we're going to take our break. Second law from the Bible. This one we've heard since we were small, I'm sure. It's called the law of sowing
And reap.
and reaping. In fact, we've probably heard it so often we could quote it. It says, whatever you sow, what?
I'm not
You
gonna
shall
lie.
reap.
I'm fucking with the background.
Fairly blunt, hopefully clear.
So that means
Here's my first suggestion on the law of sowing and reaping. Don't
I want
try
the
to be,
bottom should be
You might as
super
well try
super
sitting
dark,
on the sun in the morning.
right?
Keep it from coming up. You'll have better
Super
luck.
dark.
Whatever you sow,
I'm
you
fucking with
reap.
I'm fucking with the background, bro.
Now, for a fair share of my life, I'm a bit mixed up on how all this applies.
It
Among a lot of
almost
things I
makes
was
me
mixed up
want to
on.
make it darker.
I knew I wasn't reaping too good. That I understood. My problem was I was confused about what was causing it. Remember me with the funny list? I thought those are the reasons why it isn't working out well. And then Mr. Schoaf gave me the clue that helped me figure it all out. He said, Mr. Rohn, I have another answer for you. There's another way to quote this law that'll show you where the problem is so you can go to work on it right away. All you need to know is where the problem is. Then you can go to work on it. So he quoted me the law another way, and I found out what my problem was. Here's the way you quote the law.
Nah, we'll keep it.
Whatever you reap is what you've sown. Now I knew what my problem was. Whatever you reap is what you've sown. If you don't like the crop, who do you look up? Answer, whoever planted it. And where do you find who planted your crop? Answer, in the mirror. What I finally learned to do come fall was to go to the mirror. That's where you go. And if necessary, you say, a few skinny carrots? I got to be unimpressed. Where were you last spring? Asleep? Didn't you read the books? Did you break your hoe? Let me give you 7 key points to the law of sowing and reaping. Let's tick right down through the list of 7.
Oh, I didn't.
And it'll be break time.
Who's it supposed to be? No one.
7 points to sowing and reaping. Here's
No one.
part of the
Who do you
philosophy
want
that
it to
really
be?
helped me to make some changes in life direction.
It's a pinup.
Number 1, the law of sowing and reaping
It's a
is
pinup.
negative. That's number 1, which simply means if you sow bad, you reap
It's
bad.
just a rando pinup.
Now this is kind of 3rd grade, but it doesn't hurt to go over the basics. If you plant thistle seeds, you don't get pumpkins.
Ooh, that motherfucker.
Honest,
look
no
good.
use looking
Let's
for
see.
pumpkins. John says, how come no
Those
pumpkins?
look good though.
Come on, John.
Come
The
on.
law's negative. That's how come. Now here's number 2. The law's positive. Which simply means if you sow good, you reap good. If you plant pumpkin
What's
seeds,
up,
you don't get thistles.
TikTokers?
Not from pumpkin seeds. Mother Nature won't pull tricks on you over in the corner snickering and pushing new thistles and you planting pumpkin seeds. She won't do that. You will get pumpkins from pumpkin seeds, and the reason is because the law is positive. Now here's number 3. I got excited when I found out the full dimension of this. See, you do not reap what you sow, but rather you always reap much more than what you sow. So the 3rd key word is more. You don't get back what you put out. You get back much more than what you put out. And it works both positive and negative.
I'm waiting on that. Y'all saw what I put out in 2023.
On the negative side, it said, if you sow to the wind, you reap the whirlwind.
Did they say I didn't put out enough?
So you've got to get ready for that, or you will be naive. See, anybody can, whether you will or not. See, that's the question. And here's a good question to ask.
You're naive.
We are all buying somebody's plan. The question is, whose? Who's got you talked into doing what you're doing? Who's got you talked into your present plan?
Yourself?
See, 10 years from now, you will surely arrive. The question is, where? But see, anybody, if you want to, can go searching for a good plan, pick it, and start working it. And sure enough, as the time passes, as it surely will 5 years from now, 10 years from now, then you'll be winding up wearing what you want to wear, driving what you want to drive, living where you want to live, become what you want to become. But now's the time to fix the next 10 years. And who can? Anybody.
Oh,
Here's
you
number
know
6.
what? I need to test that out. I need
The
to
6th key to
test
sowing
out.
and reaping. This is leveling with you now, as we
Facebook thing.
promised to do. There's one thing better than the truth, and that's the whole truth. And here's part of the whole truth of the law of sowing and reaping. Number 6 is, you could lose. There are times when you just lose, no matter what you do. It's that kind of planet. You reap what you sow, yes, but... What does that mean, yes, but? Well, the farmer plants his crop in the spring, takes care of it all summer, loves his family, works 10, 12 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week, is an honorable man. Come fall, he's got a beautiful crop, and he deserves every bit of it. But the day before he sends the combines into the field, a hailstorm comes along and beats it all in the ground, which means you lose. Somebody says, well, what did he do wrong? Answer, nothing. It's just that kind of planet. Sometimes it's going to hail on your crop and rain on your parade, so you got to get ready for that, or you will be naive.
Or you will be
That's
naive.
just part of the life arrangement.
That's what they did in
And
April.
don't press me. Why?
April
I was
2021.
not in on some of the original decisions here, so I
Lord
don't know
have
how it
mercy.
got
Rained
set up.
on my parade, bro.
But there's just times, sometimes you lose. That's part of life. But now here's number 7. The 7th key to sowing and reaping. And it goes like this. It's just another way to quote the same law. And it goes like this. If you don't sow, that's just another way to quote the law. If you don't sow, what? You don't reap. You don't even have a chance.
You don't even have a chance.
So if you looked at your game plan tomorrow, you might come to the quick conclusion, I got to get some sowing going. How true. Get you some sowing going. And remember, you've got plenty of time. You've got all the time there is.
When's the next
Some
show?
people spend enough TV time to
Bro,
make a
I'm
fortune.
trying to do my
The
own
latest
show.
article on television watching in this country, according to the latest article, the average television is on in this country in
I'm
every
trying to
household
do my
7
own,
hours a day.
like, solo
Called the
show.
Big 7. I asked a guy one time what his TV cost. He said about
At least a couple
$450.
before
I
I
said, you forgot to look at the
before I
price
open the
tag."
art gallery.
He said, what do you mean? I knew he was a TV watcher. I said,
It'll
"That
probably
television
be
costs
at
you, in my
some, like,
opinion, at least $12,000 a year to watch
I don't
it.
know, a
Not to
rentable
own it.
event place.
Owning it's cheap. Watching it
Tell
is
me.
what's expensive. And I said, hey, $12,000 a year is too much to pay to watch TV. That's too much. Pay
What
a
are you
little,
doing?
but not $12,000.
Why are you even going?
And
to
he's the guy
sleep?
that said, I hope pay TV never comes.
Is that it?
Okay. We're trying to cover an awful lot tonight. I realize that. But my time schedule is such that we just have to sort of give it all to you and let you sort the rest out. I wish we had plenty of time for questions and answers and that whole thing, but our time is just limited. But we are trying to go through an awful lot. I realize that. But looks like everybody's getting it.
Yeah, I don't have
This is about
a
the
next
note-takingest
show
crowd
planned
I've
yet.
seen in a long time. Incredible. Does anybody have 5 pages yet? Anybody? Oh, fantastic. Incredible. Okay. Maybe you heard the story about the preacher down in Texas, southern part of the country. He was an
I'm fucking
evangelist
with the
back in the horse
background,
and
though.
buggy days.
Why do I?
And
oh,
he
it's
was
not
very
that
good
long.
at being an evangelist, and a lot of people used to come and hear him preach. And one day he put up his tent in one of these Texas towns and expected a big crowd as usual, come hear him preach. And he got there, first night of the tent revival, walked in. 7:30, time to start. And to his surprise, the tent was empty. He thought, well, something must be drastically wrong. So he waited till 7:45, nobody showed up. 8 o'clock, zip. Finally, 8:15, one lone cowboy wandered up on his horse, tied his horse up outside, came in, sat down on the front bench, right, waiting for something to happen. The preacher thought, well, at least I better go down and talk to the cowboy. So he walks down, talks to the cowboy, and he says, cowboy, I'm the preacher. And he said, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm the preacher.
Something's gone wrong. He said, this tent was supposed to be full of people. He said, I'm embarrassed. He said, you're the only one that showed up. And he said, I really don't know what to do. And the cowboy said, well, I'm not a preacher, so I really can't tell you what to do. You know, he said, I'm just a cowboy. But he said, I know this. If I went out to feed my cattle and only one showed up, I'd at least feed it. The preacher thought, hey, the cowboy is right.
He's right.
If you've got a good idea to share, you should share it, if there's 1 or 1,000. So he got kind of inspired by this conversation, and he jumped up on the platform and started to preach. As if the tent was full of people, just exploded. And he went for an hour and 15 minutes, just kept rolling. Finally, he quit. And when he finished, he came down off the platform, talked to the cowboy again. Says, well, cowboy, what did you think of my sermon?
What'd you think of my sermon?
And the cowboy said, well, I'm not a preacher, so I really can't tell. You know, he said, I'm just a cowboy. But he said, I know this. If I went out to feed my cattle and only one showed up, I'd feed it, but I wouldn't dump the whole load on it. So anyway, if it seems like we're dumping the whole load tonight, I guess we are. But gosh, everybody's doing well. I'm having a good time. I appreciate the response here tonight. Okay, the next subject is setting goals.
Oh wait, we're supposed to record this.
Let me show you what turned my life every way but
recorded.
loose.
Oh no, we're supposed to zoom in.
Mr. Schoaf dropped this idea on me, changed me completely.
Oh, position 2?
Setting
Position
goals.
2?
Here's what can easily happen if you don't set goals. It's
Bruh,
easy
we're
to let
so
life
good.
deteriorate into making a living instead of designing a life. And we all have a choice. Make a living
choice.
or design a life. It's easy to get trapped by economic necessity and settle for existence rather than substance. That's easy.
By choice.
But the best advice I can
That's
give you on
Tony
how to break out
Baker,
of that trap is to learn how to set goals.
As a kid, or as a baby.
Mr. Schoaf put it to me this way. He said, Jim, if you had enough reasons, you could do the most incredible things. I never forgot how he put that. If you have enough reasons. See, reasons will change your whole
Reasons is
life.
pretty good. Damn, did I go too
Mr.
high?
Schoaf said to me, he said, Mr. Rohn, I think you've got plenty of intelligence, you've got plenty of talent,
shite.
you've got plenty of ability. Probably what you lack is
There's
plenty of
enough
reasons. He said, I don't think your current bank balance is a true indication of your level of intelligence. I was happy to hear that. He said, I think you're much smarter than your present bank balance indicates. And that turned out to be true. I was much smarter. But of course my first question was, well then why isn't it bigger? And he said, you don't have enough reasons. You've got enough intelligence, but not enough reasons. So see, reasons can change your life. Here's what else I found out. Reasons come first, answers come second. You don't get
Do
the
we like
answers
yellow
to
or-
do well till you get the reasons.
Nah, I like this color.
Life has a mysterious way of hanging on to all the answers and only gives them up to the people that are inspired by reasons. So reasons make the difference in how your life works out. Now, what are some of the reasons for doing well? Let's go through a quick list called Reasons for Doing Well. First is personal reasons. Some people do well for recognition. Some people do well for respect. Some people do well for the way it makes them feel. They love the feeling of being a winner. Those are good reasons. I have some millionaire friends that keep working 10, 12 hours a day, making more millions. And it's not because they need the money. It's because they need the joy and the satisfaction and the pleasure that comes from being a constant winner.
A constant
And see, it's not just the money
winner.
anyway. It's the journey, not the money. Once in a while somebody says to me, boy, if I had $1 million, I'd never work another day in my life. That's probably why the good Lord sees to it they don't get their million, right? They'd quit. They'd quit.
Can't think like that.
Okay. Next is family reasons. Some people do extremely well for other people, and that's powerful. Human beings can greatly affect each other. Sometimes we will do things for somebody else we will not do for ourselves. We're made that
That's
way.
pet owners.
I met a man one
90%
time
of
who
pet
said,
owners.
Mr. Rohn, to do all the things I want to do with my family around the world, he said, I got to have at least $250,000 a year. I thought, incredible. Could a guy's family affect him that much? And the answer is, of course.
Look at that
How
green.
fortunate are the people that find themselves greatly affected by somebody for personal achievement. And we are affected. The writer of a recent song said, "If not for you, the winter would hold no spring, couldn't hear a robin sing. I just wouldn't have a clue if not for you." So we can be affected. That might be one of the most stimulating reasons to do well, finding somebody. When Andrew Carnegie died, the wee little Scotsman that built the big steel industry, when he died, they opened up his desk, and in one of the desk drawers, they found a slip of paper. On that piece of paper, Mr. Carnegie had written his goal for his life, and he wrote it when he was in his 20s. And on that piece of paper, it said, "I'm going to spend the first half of my life accumulating money. I'm going to spend the last half of my life giving it all away." What a goal.
What a goal.
He got so inspired by that goal that the first half of his life, he accumulated
Bro, not even Dom.
$400 million.
You new here,
And
bro.
the last half of his life, he
Dom,
gave
you're
it
new here, bro.
all away. Good
Unless
question tonight.
you're trolling.
What's got you turned on?
Unless you're trolling, brother Dom.
What's got you bombed out of sight to get up early and stay up late and hit it all day?
What's got you bombed out of sight? I'm
Next
live
question.
on my
What's
Twitch
got you
and
turned off?
YouTube. Close
When I
views.
found the answers to those two questions, my life exploded into change. I finally found out what had me turned off, and I got that cured. And then I got me a long enough list of reasons to turn me on. And once the lights went on for me, age 25, they've never gone out. I've fallen out of the sky a few times, but I've never lost that drive to make something unique out of my life. See, reasons altered my whole life.
Reason.
Now, there's another list of reasons called nitty-gritty. Hard little reasons. Sometimes those little reasons are the most powerful reasons that can change your life. Sometimes it doesn't take much. I now carry several $100s in my money clip. It's only a few $100s, but it was one of those reasons turned my life around. Just before I met Mr. Schoaf, I heard a knock at the door. I go to the door, and there's a little girl standing there about this tall selling Girl Scout cookies. And she gave me one of the finest sales presentations I've ever heard. Special deal, several flavors, this whole package of stuff, $2. And with a big smile, she very politely asked me to buy. And I wanted to. Big problem.
I didn't have
I'm broke.
$2.
I don't have $2. And to this day, I can remember the pain and the embarrassment.
This is
I'm a
my
father,
bottle, by the way,
I'm a husband,
boys.
I've been to college, I'm working, I'm 25. I don't have $2. And I didn't want to tell her that for some reason. So I did what I thought was next best. I lied to her. I said, "Hey, look, I've already bought lots of Girl Scout cookies. I've still got plenty stacked in the house," which was not true. But it seemed to get me off the hook for the moment. She said, "Well, gosh, that's wonderful. Thank you very much." And she went away. When she left, I closed the door, and that was the day I said to myself, I don't want to live like this anymore. I've had it with lying, and I've had it with being broke. I'm never going to let
Dream
this happen
lurking,
to me
listening.
ever
What's up, brother?
again.
Appreciate it. Appreciate
I
it.
promised that day I would work as hard as possible and would always carry plenty. It took me a little while, but now I do. It was one of those reasons.
It's one of those reasons.
And I guess I carry plenty for 2 reasons. One is the way it makes me feel, but also in case I bump into another Girl Scout selling cookies.
I'm ready.
Right? I'm ready. I walked out of the Bank of America one time up in Saratoga, California, where I used to live. 2 little girls selling candy right outside the bank.
Excellent.
Good place. Like some girls' organization they're working for, right? I come walking out of the bank. This first little girl walks up to me. She said, "Mister, would you like to buy some candy?" I said, "I probably would." "What kind is it?" She said, "It's almond roca." I said, "My gosh, that's my favorite." She said, "Wonderful." I said, "How much is it?" She said, "It's just $2. I thought, incredible.
Incredible.
I said, "How many boxes of that candy have you got?" She said, 5. And her little friend was standing there. She was selling candy too. I said, "How many boxes have you got?" She said, "I've got 4. I said, "That's 9. I'll take them all." They said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, it's my favorite. I've got some friends. I'll pass them around." They got so excited, put all this candy together. I reached in my pocket, gave them the $18. When I've got the candy and they've got the money, that first little girl looks up at me. She says, "Mister, you are really something." How about that? Can you imagine only spending $18 and have somebody look at you in the face and say, "You are really something"? Now you know why I carry heavy, right? I'm not going to miss any more. It was just one of those reasons. Helped to change my life. One of my nitty-gritty reasons was budget finance. Budget finance used to grind my soul. Way back in those early days, I had fallen for one of those consolidation loans, where you take all your little hard-to-pay bills, put them into one big impossible-to-pay bill, right? I would get 4 or 5 payments behind.
Bro,
this one guy used to
this
call
shit
me
crazy.
day and night. I don't think they're allowed to do that anymore. Harassed me.
Harassed.
Threatened to run me in front of the judge. Threatened to ruin my credit. Threatened to embarrass my family. One day he said, "We're going to come get your car, drag it rear end up down the street in front of your neighbors." The guy even called me a flake. And back in those days, I'm broke, I'm pitiful, there's nothing I can do about it. But I never forgot how the guy treated me.
This is
And when I met Mr. Show, and I got my life straightened out, and the money started to flow, that was one of my first projects, budget finance. I poured it on day and night. I finally put all the money together I owed him, which was considerable. I picked a day for the payoff. And when the payoff day came, I put the money in small bills in a big briefcase. And I walked into the budget finance office on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. The guy who harassed me so often, his desk was about 3 back. I walked right up to his desk, startled him. He wondered what I was doing there. It was the first time I'd been there since I'd borrowed the money, right?
That's
Without
hilarious.
saying a word, I opened up this briefcase, dumped this pile of money all over his desk. I said, "Count it. It's all there. I will never be back." And I turned around and stormed out. Now, that might not be noble, but if you haven't tried it, you've got to one time. It can be the day that turns your life around. All you need is a reason that turns you on. One of my dear friends, Robert Depew, Bobby used to be a school teacher in Lindsay, olive capital of the world. Bobby taught school several years, got a little weary teaching school. One day decided he wanted to get into sales. So without telling anybody, he just up and quit his job teaching school and jumped into sales. When he did, His brother made fun of him, laughed at him.
It's supposed to be thicker than
Put
that,
him
bro.
down,
This is
said
nuts.
Robert's lost his
What up,
mind.
soul?
Had a good job teaching school.
This is supposed
now
to
he
be
thinks he's
thicker.
safe. He's gonna go down the drain,
Thicker
lose
than
everything.
that.
Just
So
put him down
what
something
up?
fierce. Bobby said,
What time is it? Oh, it's only
the way
11.
my brother acted when I got into sales, he said that made
It's
me
only
so
11.
mad. I decided to get rich. And my question for you tonight is it possible to get that mad? Of course. Wealth is not a matter of intelligence. It's a matter of inspiration.
Tipsy.
Today, Robert happens to be one of my millionaire friends. Bobby's rich.
Bobby? Did he say Bobby?
Frank Sinatra said one time, the best revenge is massive success. Hey, get you a long enough list of reasons so that after tonight you never lack for inspiration.
Oh.
You might not have all the answers right away, but you can get the answers if you can get the reasons. Now, let me give you a little simple formula for goal setting.
You know what? I could use a
Okay.
bigger brush.
We take 2.5 hours on the weekend for the whole 10-year plan. We don't have time for that tonight. But let me get you started with a little simple formula Mr. Schoaf gave me. And maybe this will be helpful. First of all, I've divided goals into two parts. First is long range. Long range goals. That's your dreams. Your dreams for the next 3, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Actually, the rest of your life. Your dreams. You've got to keep dreaming.
You got to keep dreaming.
Ronald Reagan, president, said to the joint session of Congress a few weeks ago, the republic is a dream. And if we don't keep dreaming, we will lose the republic.
Oh, is that too low?
Your better future is a dream for yourself and for your family. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to see? You've got to dream dreams. There's a Bible phrase that says, without dreams and visions, people perish. You've got to have something to go for that inspires the heart and the soul.
Oh my God, that's too low, bro.
Dreams.
Hold on, I'm gonna
From the
change.
children of Sanchez, it says, take the crumbs from starving soldiers, they won't die. Take the bread from hungry children, they won't cry. But without dreams, we all will die. You've got to dream. Don't lose your dreams. For yourself, for your future, for your family. The dreams of love and enterprise and travel and doing things. Becoming something unique on your journey here. Don't lose your dreams. Do some dreaming.
Why is
That's
this?
long-range goals. You've got to have those. So that's number one. Here's the second part of goals, short range. Short-range goals. That's your goals for tomorrow, this week, this month, this year. The immediate future. We call these confidence builders. Because if you set up something short-range, go for it. Get it. Latch onto it. Work hard. Accomplish it. That starts building your strong feelings to go for your dreams. Now, I've divided goals into 3 categories. Here they are. Number 1 is economic.
Is that recording? Holy shit.
That's your goals for
27
money,
minutes?
income, business,
27
profits,
minutes is
production.
insane.
Economics. Make sure you've got your economics well planned. Economics plays a major role in everybody's
That's not
life.
rude. He's fine.
Economics is major, which means it ought to be meticulously well planned for tomorrow, this week, this month, this year, long range.
The video is
What if you
being
asked
milked.
somebody
No,
tomorrow if you could
I
see
just
their
don't want
meticulously
to. I didn't
well-planned
want
list
to
of
keep
economic
painting.
goals?
How is it
What would
being
they
milked?
say?
You want me to just paint
They say you
this
sound
off
kind of a
stream?
nut.
I don't paint off
You must be
stream.
weird.
I'm definitely not gonna paint off stream.
Hey, I found out what success is.
I just haven't been painting.
Success is doing what the failures won't do.
Haven't been painting, boys. Take a break.
Make
Take a
sure
break.
you've got your economics well planned.
It's not
It'll put you in
milking.
the top 5%.
It's milking
One of the key
when
little
I'm
subjects we
doing
talk
the
about on
other
the weekend
stuff,
is the
and
7 fundamentals for wealth and happiness.
I'm actually trying to
And that's
finish.
one of them. Well-planned
This one,
economics. It's a
I'm not really
fundamental
trying
if
to
you want to
finish
do
it.
well. Join the top 5%. Anybody in this room can join the top 5%, if you will. Okay. Now here's the second category of goals: things. Make a list
and
of the
these
things you
videos
want.
don't even get saved. Nah.
And on my list of
These
things
don't
now, I
even
put
get
everything.
saved.
Little things as well
I'm
as
gonna
major
figure out
things.
how to
Doesn't
make
matter how small it
videos
is,
for
it
my
goes on my
YouTube
list.
though, with this content.
I used to just put major things: cars, homes. I don't do that anymore. I now load my list with everything. Everything. And the reason is, part of the fun of having a list is checking it off. That's it. Boy, at the end of the day, if you can go, got it, got it, got it, got it, whatever it is, right? You get into the habit. So load up your list, the things you want. Now, when you check off something major, celebrate. That's an important point to make. Celebrate your achievements. Live it up. Have a party when you reach something you've worked for a while. See, we all grow from 2 experiences. One is called the pain of losing. The other one is called the joy of winning.
Oh,
We need both of them. Amplify them as much as you
it
can.
goes up in there.
Which also means make losing painful. If you set up something, fooled around, didn't get it, put it on yourself. On the other side, if you did get it, congratulate yourself. Self-congratulations is a sign of maturity. Seeking congratulations is a sign of immaturity. But hey, winning and losing, see, that's what it's all about. That's the name of the game. Now, some people lead such mediocre lives, at the end of the day, they don't know whether they're winning or losing. They got no clue.
They
Guy's
got
just
no
going through the day
clue.
with his fingers crossed. There's a better
What's up,
way.
Chris? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate it, brother.
Okay, here's the third category of goals: personal development.
I see you with the heart, me.
Put those
Look at
goals
Soul.
together. Personal development goals. That's your goals: to be stronger, more decisive, be a speaker, be a leader,
I see you, soul.
learn a language, all kinds of skills.
What up, Chris?
Okay. The whole weekend seminar was designed to improve all your
This is a
skills.
old. This
So that you
piece
walk away more
was
skillful.
originally from
And that's what you want,
2012,
the personal development skills. That's
but
what
I'm.
attracts,
I
that's
mean,
what
I
brings good
updated
things
it
to your
now.
life, the person you become,
Now
more
it's the
skillful.
2024.
Now, this is quite a
2024
package to
piece.
work on. Economics, things, personal development.
Changed
For
basically
tomorrow,
the whole
this
thing
week,
except for
this
this
month,
cup.
this year, long range.
I think this cup is the
Okay,
only
that'll get you
survivor.
started. Now, here's
This
the simple
solo red
formula
was
for setting
the
goals.
only
It goes like
survivor.
this. A,
Literally, the
Work on
whole
your
thing
goals.
has changed.
that's step 1. Work on them. And I put the word work there deliberately. Setting goals is plain hard work. I don't want to kid you. We haven't come here tonight to kid each other. It's work. I know it's work. That's why a lot of people just let it slide. It's work. Many people work hard on their job, but they don't work hard on their future. They just let that slide. And the work involved is making plans.
That
I
should be
know
brown.
most people don't.
Okay, it should
I
be
understand
brown.
that. But don't let that be you. Guy says, well, yeah, you work where I work.
Yeah,
but the
this
time
is
you
from
go
the
home,
last
it's late.
2.
You got to eat a bite of supper,
Two
watch a little
streams?
TV, get to bed.
How many
You
streams
can't sit
have
up
I
half the
did this
night.
one?
Plan.
This might be.
And the guys
This is either the 3rd or the 4th.
good worker, hard worker,
Sincere.
But you got to be better than sincere, working hard. You got to be better than a good worker. You got to be a good planner. Somebody once wisely said, the people who fail to plan are planning to fail.
That's pretty good.
Well said. So work on your goals. Here's step 2. Write your goals down. That's so important. I teach my staff around the world, put your goals in your journal. Because one of the major people you want to study is yourself. Say, here's the list of goals I put together 3 weeks ago. Here's the list of goals I put together 2 years ago. Here's some of the changes I made, rearrangement of my priorities. I scratched these off. I put these on.
90 minutes.
Study your accomplishments. Study
Wait,
what your
what does it say?
desires are. Put them on paper.
Love
Write
to
them
see
down.
it.
Here's another
Working
reason for
on
writing
any
your goals
commissions.
down.
I gotta,
It shows
after
you're
this is
serious
it's a
about doing
commission.
better.
One of
And
my
to do better, you
collectors.
gotta get
It's
serious.
it's another one of
You
my
don't have
old
to be
pieces
grim,
that I'm
but
fixing
you
up.
must be serious.
Cause see, when you buy an original from me, you get the
Everybody hopes
the private
things will get
stash. So I sent him a bunch of
Everybody
pictures of all
hopes.
my old
better.
stuff.
Poor people hope.
He
That ought to
picked
tell you
one, and I was
something.
like, "Yeah, I'll change it up." Blah blah
It
blah.
means the future
And I gotta
does
change it
not
up for
get
him.
better by hope. It gets better
Fix it
by
up,
plan.
update it. Cause I got a bunch of stuff that I don't even post.
I used to have the affliction called passive hope. It's an affliction. It's bad.
He has
Probably what's
two
even worse
other
than that is happy
originals.
hope. Now that is really bad. That's bad. Happy hope. The guy's 50 and he's broke and he's still smiling. See, that's not good.
And then after that, we
So
might get back
serious
to
about your
the
goals,
fan
put 'em
art.
on paper, write 'em
We might
down.
get back to the
There's
fan
all
art,
kinds.
boys.
His goals, her goals,
Either
their
one
goals.
piece,
Business goals, financial goals,
either
financial
one
independence
piece. Wait, no,
goals,
no.
family goals.
After
I mean, there's
that-
so many things to work on this. That
Never
if you don't
mind.
get busy and work on it, sure enough, the time will
It's
pass.
my
And sure
tame
enough, 5 years
series.
from now, you'll wind up where you
So
don't
it's
want
some
to
girls
be,
and an
wearing
animal.
what you don't want to wear, driving what you don't
Is
want to
next.
drive, being what you don't want to be. Now's the time to fix
After the commission is
it.
girls
Now here's the
with
third step to
animals.
your goals. Check the size of your goals and the kinds of goals. How big they are, what kind they are, affects you. And here's one of the important phrases of the evening. Your goals are affecting you, whatever they are. Your goals affect your handshake. Your goals affect your attitude, personality. Your goals affect the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you dress. All day long, we're being affected by our goals.
Always look forward to the projects on stream. That's why I
Now,
turn it
some people
on,
have goals,
boys.
but they have such lousy goals.
That's why I turn the
The
stream
effect is
on.
bad.
Some people paint when I paint.
I asked a guy one time, what are your goals for this
Some
month?
people
The guy
sketch
said,
when
look, if I could just
I
scrape up enough money to pay these
when I
lousy
turn on the
bills.
stream.
That was his goal. I'm not saying it isn't a goal. It's a goal, but it's such a lousy goal, the effect is bad. You don't jump out of bed on Monday morning and say, oh boy, another chance to go out and scrape up the money to pay my lousy bills. See, you don't do that. Usually you say, oh, not another Monday.
Monday.
And some people have so given up on life, they have joined the thank God it's Friday club. How sad.
Damn.
Surely
bro.
those are the same people, when life is over for them, will say, thank God it's over. Let me give you a Bible philosophy that teaches how to get whatever you want. That's the title of the next set of notes. How to get whatever you want. From the Bible.
Oh, I forgot this speech
Now,
is
again,
2
I'm an
hours.
amateur when it comes to the Bible.
We got
I'm not a
enough
pro, but this I
YouTube
can
and
quote, and
Twitch
I think that'll be
content,
sufficient.
boys. Let me turn on my kick.
How to get whatever you want. Here's what it says if you're ready. It says,
Ooh.
ask.
It says ask. Appreciate the shares,
That's
brother.
it.
Let me turn on
End
my
of notes.
kick.
Ask.
Ask.
If there's one art in life to learn extremely well, that's got to be one of them. The art of asking.
Asking.
What does ask mean? Ask means, what do you want?
Shouts out to Jimmy Rohn. Young Jimmy Rohn, always motivating. Is this too loud? Sounds delish. All right. Twitch, YouTube. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all chilling. I'm gonna turn on my Kick stream. So I'll be on kick.com/Jeremy Worth. I can't even type it in chat. No Dice. Dream. I'll be on my Kick. Boys. BRB. Okay, time to migrate. Yes, sir. And I can't let go.